thought up guns and thought up war. We women, we never would have thought up any of that.
Yet women do very well with guns. We have a U.S. Senator in the state of California, Dianne Feinstein, who has a concealed carry permit. She carries a concealed weapon in her purse.
Solution? Put Dianne Feinstein in the church.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With or without the target.
Let me just say this again. I know I'm repeating myself, but you're in church. You're praying, you've got the Bible, whatever people do there, I don't know. A gunman walks in and starts firing. You think people are going to be that prepared, that ready with the gun, right so that, bang, and it's over, and they've stopped the tragedy because they were super armed?
The potential of saving lives is more important than the concern that maybe somebody won't be protected.
Yeah, but don't you think
rather have a few people
I'm
with
asking
guns.
Practicality. You
Sure,
think this could have been stopped if the parishioners were armed?
But what is the difference whether this shooting occurred in a church and 8 people died, or in a Luby's in Killeen, Texas, where 14 people died
because
there was no guns there?
Because according to your theory, you have to be armed everywhere, including church. And not just armed, but ready to fire.
But if you
I think like this. You got to pray like this.
And you're right. The first guy that reaches in for the wallet, you don't know what he's going for.
Yeah.
Take him out.
But how did the boy that went in the church that shot the other praying people, how did he get in the church with the gun if you're not supposed to have go in the... Who is checking to see who has the guns at the beginning when you shake the...
Well, in fact, it's like the holy water. You go in, you get the holy water, they give you a gun.
Check your guns in at the holy water.
But actually, doesn't she raise a good point, which is that every time we have one of these, somebody proposes a new law, and the person who did it already violated 312 laws. You cannot control individual behavior. People grow up and they have dark sides. Some people express their dark sides at the extreme.
Which is why you have to get rid of a lot of guns.
Exactly.
But
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow when our guests will be Howie Mandel, Shada Lynn, Allie Landry, and Tom Fitton.
All right, let's get off guns because it is depressing. I want to talk about this. HBO has this series called Feminized Fairy Tales. It started last night. Now, I was never a fairy tale aficionado when I was a child.
Aficionado.
Yeah, and I used that word when I was 4. But I do. We all know what fairy tales are. I don't understand why they had to feminize them. And now there's the one that was on last night is called the Sissy Duckling. Now...
Oh, that kind of feminized.
Right, Harvey Firestein narrated it. And we all know the ugly duckling story, right? About the ugly duckling. It's really a swan, right? Mm-hmm. But it was ugly, and then it's started.
And this is about a duckling that's like into Barbra Streisand? Or
well, this is the, right.
Definitely Garland impression.
The real one was a duck that was a swan that thinks he's a duck. I don't know why. Followed by an Asian guy in an apron, I guess. I don't know, but in this one, it's a sissy duckling isn't ugly, but he's not like the other ducks. He doesn't play sports.
Right.
He's into reading and painting.
But ducks don't play sports. Okay,
but that's
another issue.
No, that's the issue. Yeah. I mean, that's part of it. You're right.
Yep.
So the ducks. So the ducks mock him, call him sissy. Some ducks drive over from New Jersey in a Camaro and beat him up. No, I'm kidding. But by the end, he's accepted and wins a Tony. I don't know.
But what is he? I'm very curious what he grows up to be. Okay, because like in the Ugly Duckling, he grew up to be a swan, which is like cool bird. To be. What is the sissy?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
He grows up to be accepted. It sounds to me like...
Yes, I don't think they take it that far. I think he just performs his act of heroism, and that's the end of story, end of point.
A duck performs an act of heroism. But but all of this is supposed to make a normalization. It may be a fairy tale, but indeed it is. It is trying to be. I'm not trying to make a pun out of that, but it's trying to be a fairy tale, but it's really a story for today of normalization of a lifestyle, and that's really what they're trying to do, use the arts for the normalization of a lifestyle. And if they want to do that, why do they have to steal it from a fable? Why don't they create their own type of...
But being gay is a normal lifestyle. It's just not your normal lifestyle.
I don't hear people being introduced. I hear people saying, well, I'm a black lesbian, I'm a homosexual. I don't hear people saying I'm a white heterosexual. These folks are more interested. Good for you.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not. But homosexuals really
I'm a flaming heterosexual.
I'm not proud of it, but I am. Folks,
it's not easy. Right? It's a very difficult life being a heterosexual in this town, but I do it because it's what I believe.
And in this town, but homosexuals really want everyone to know who they are, and they're more interested in their sexuality than in their individuality. And that's what concerns me. It's not the normalization alone, but it's the fact that they're more interested in their sexual... They want everyone to know what they do in bed. Who cares? But they're the ones who are promoting it.
I don't think they're going to a sexual issue with the fairy tale. I think what they're doing... I'm not saying you don't have a very valid point, but what they're trying to say is that someone who's more feminine or does more... has artistic views, that these people should be accepted as well as the guy playing football and it's very competitive in basketball. So I think the issue, what we should be talking about is maybe if are we pointing up those people? You know, are we pointing out those people so that the kids say, oh, you're like the sissy duckling, you're one of those sissy, you know, are we now, what is my word I'm used for, emphasizing?
In every fable there's an inherent truth, and as long as that's being perpetuated, that's the thing that's important. All the other, 6-year-olds aren't they're not thinking of it in terms of sexuality. Their sexuality really hasn't occurred to them yet.
But I'll disagree with you.
I think the original story is more, the message of the original story is they mock you.
Because you're different.
Yeah, for you're different, but then when you turn, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed...
you become better.
Right. Yeah. Rudolph is not a good story for kids either. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed, they mock him because he's got a red nose, he's got a deformity. Oh, but then he finds a way to help them. Right.
When they need Rudolph.
Yeah, right. And Santa, you know, it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah. But it really is part of the gay agenda to create a normalization, and I'll disagree. 6-year-olds are being taught sex in schools today, in government schools.
Sex.
6-year-olds are being taught sex where?
In
California schools, they're
no, we can't do that. We cannot do that. Stop.
But we are doing it, and government schools are doing it.
What do you mean taught sex? What do they teach 6-year-olds?
They have sex curriculums in the for 6-year-olds. The first grade, starting at the first grade, they have sex curriculum.
Not at 6.
In the first grade, which is 6 years old. And they have now.
Well, you know what? That's probably when they start asking questions. And somebody in the school board said, "Hey, why don't we answer them?" Spooky.
But is it the role of government to place those answers, or is it the role of the church or the parents to make that determination?
I think
this is not a government show. This is an entertainment show, which is basically, as your concern is that people will start having.
I'll guarantee you within a year that fable will be part of the approved curriculum in schools in this state and in other states.
If the fable merely teaches people, if it merely teaches people not to beat up on people who are effeminate, what's so bad about that?
That's what the ugly duckling is about for all people. Instead of just talking about one orientation, which is what the sissy duckling does, why not talk about the ugly duckling, which talks about all orientations and all people, instead of making one person more important than anybody else?
Commercials are most important. We'll do that. Okay, I want to go back to what you were saying. You think 6 years old is too young to start sex education because...
Oh, honey. Of course. They need to be collecting Pokemon cards, counting the Pokemon cards.
But, you know, it's different than when we grew up. Kids are not...
But that's our fault. That's not the kids' fault. Don't perpetuate this. I think it's wrong to do that. Yeah, we were bombarding kids with too many... Sex is too complex an issue for a 6-year-old to be dealing with.
My son is 18. I've told him nothing, okay?
That's great. I asked the first question. I asked my friend Dina. I'll never forget it. We were in reading. We're on the floor, and I asked her about the word sex because it was on the bathroom wall, and she said, "When it's, I guess I just say this.
Yeah.
When the boy puts the thing that he has."
There might be children.
Okay.
Well, this is
his 18-year-old son is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
puts
into
it
this
in,
now.
Bill is just now
And
finding
talk
some
slow.
of this.
Yeah.
said it's when the boy, because it's the 5th grade, and the boy puts the things that he has
In the duck.
in the
Let her talk! Damn, I lost it. Dave! God, I was almost there.
Pointus interruptus.
Yeah, we'll do this part again.
Yeah,
and
so
we'll go,
when the boy does what? This was when you were young.
this is 5th grade.
5th grade.
And so I don't know how old you are then, but when the boy puts the thing that that he would own into, and she said, "Your hole," and to me that was a tummy hole, and so.
Right.
And you have no children now.
Right.
And I know.
Not till way later that you start asking which one. That's way later.
So that maybe that's the grade, to have that class to talk about where the hole is.
But.
And.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a few minutes now.
Yeah. But the point is that they saw sex on the bathroom wall at 6. They see it on MTV. The thing is, it's not like it used to be.
It's not like it used to be.
It's in their faces all the time. I agree. When I was that age, it never entered our world, but it does enter their world now.
Yes, but there are simple, standard questions and simple answers to child's questions.
But they're lies. The simple answers are...
No more than the ugly duckling is an untruth. There are inherent truths in the ugly duckling.
Yeah.
I mean, ducks don't talk, ducks don't grow up, I mean, but there are inherent truths in the fable, and there are simple ways to explain questions that a child asks.
And the other part is, why is it government's role? Why does government take it away from the parents? Why do government schools continue to say that we know better than the parents? And so parents who aren't quite sure of their role anymore say, well, since it's in the curriculum, starting at the 1st grade, it must be government's role, not my role as a parent, to teach my kids about sex. But it's everywhere.
If the schools teach sex as well as they teach everything else, then we'll die out as a race. You know.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll do that. The first time I heard about it, I treated it like a rumor. Like any other rumor. You know, you heard the thing about the monster who attacks the kids in the car with the metal arm. That's exactly the way I treated sex. Yeah, a part of my body grows to 5 times its normal size. Right. I swear to God, it was exactly that sort of disbelief. Do you remember the same thing?
Well, mine does go to 5 times. No, that's not. No. Yes, I couldn't. I didn't. It didn't seem. Especially with my own parents, you know what I mean? No way would they get involved with that kind of activity.
All right, tomorrow we have Howie Mandel, Shada Lynn. I used to play the Shada Lynn. Ali Landry and Tom Fitz. Thank you very much, folks.